Today is the day, August 21st, 2022, and it's my birthday. I'm gaining momentum towards my goal of 130. I think it's wise to overshoot so you don't start putting the brakes on when you're, say, 90 or so. No brakes. I want to twist the handle grips on the motorcycle of life and hunch my head down into the wind and careen over the finish line with everyone cheering. No regrets. I live outside the box to some, to be sure. There are boundaries that others see and respect, which I continue to cross over. I've been called eccentric, bossy, crazy, hard to control, and I am all those things. Well, at least I have been all those things at some point, and as I continue to learn about spiritual maturity, I've attempted to move into the realm of being a thoughtful, compassionate humanitarian and peacemaker. I like those words better, so I'm working on it. Birthdays are milestones. Milestones to be celebrated because a larger number can mean an accumulation of wisdom and experience. Milestones to be ignored because they remind us of the passage of time and how we're a year closer to the next realm of our existence. Milestones to be feared by some because older people are not respected in our culture, and that ageism thing is very real. Milestones to be surprising and amusing, mathematical calculations that can amuse us because our chronological number may in no way reflect the youthful feelings of our souls. Birthdays are generally marked by the date that you exit your mother's womb in whatever fashion that occurs. You take your first breath and you are born, hence your born day or your birthday. Not every culture celebrates with candles atop a cake, a few friends and family members, perhaps gifts, and the week preceding with mailboxes jammed full of cards and emails. Now, in Chinese culture, a person's birthday is celebrated twice each year, once on the Gregorian calendar, the one used by the Western world, and again on the lunar calendar. Neighbors who follow a Jehovah's Witness tradition don't celebrate birthdays at all, because there's history from pagan roots that indicates evil spirits and negative influences can enter a person more easily on their birthday. Additionally, the idea of birthday candles holding special powers for granting wishes, so to speak, totally against all that witnesses stand for, because the Bible clearly condemns the use of magic. There are many ways to commemorate, or not, the fact that your soul landed in a human body. I used to tell my daughters that I was glad they chose me as their mother, and I crafted a story not unlike the mythologies that have often been created to explain things to people who are too young, too inexperienced, or too illiterate to learn any other way. The story told of their souls looking for a place to land, and the soul wandering up and down the long line of people who were auditioning to be their parents. And they chose me. Like the characters in the musical of a chorus line, choose me, select me, I know I can do the job, pick me. And they did. Or at least in my mythologically woven tale, they did. And that's how a birthday happens. It's the day we take our first breath. It's the day our souls make their appearance in mortal form. Let's explore that list of milestones as you reflect on your birthday and what it might mean the next time it comes around. The first is the milestone to be celebrated because a larger number can mean an accumulation of wisdom and experience. Well, the experience part we can't dodge. Even if we chose to live as hermits, we would accumulate experiences of eating and breathing, interacting with other creatures, with the weather, with poetry, music, prose, and art that maybe we created ourselves or borrowed from others. But the wisdom, now, that's a different story. Wisdom is knowing how to use the accumulated knowledge that we gain from experience. May we all gain wisdom as our numbers increase. Next is the idea that our milestones might be ignored because they remind us of the passage of time and how we're a year closer to moving into the next realm of existence. One of the four noble truths in Buddhism is to accept that we are going to die. We will not always live on this planet. When I speak at a memorial service or a funeral, I often include a phrase that is meant to comfort. I say, "Love doesn't die. People die." When I recently visited a retired minister who was quite elderly and whose wife had died a year before, he admitted to me he was very lonely. Lonely because he couldn't talk to his wife or hold her hand. And I recited that sentence, "Love doesn't die. People die." And I added, "She is as much in your heart and mind as she ever was. She didn't die. Her body died." And he who had spoken at countless funerals in his tenure as a minister looked at me with surprise and said, "I've never thought of that before." And then he smiled, a loving smile that I know was rooted in his heart as he thought of his wife, Mary. Maybe birthday milestones bother us because older people are not respected in our culture. Respect your elders was a phrase I was raised with, but I sense there are significant reasons why older people must continue to earn the respect nowadays. It doesn't come automatically with a high number in our culture. Ageism is real. Being treated unfairly, being invisible, being diminished as to the wisdom and lessons held in an older person's mind is ageism. I'm a proponent of having several generations of a family living together to pass wisdom orally and experientially from one to another. And if that's not possible, at least living close enough to engage in activities and continue to learn from one another. An African proverb tells us that when an old man dies, a library burns to the ground. There are lessons that a 6-year-old can teach us. There are lessons that a 96-year-old can teach us. But we must be in one another's presence to impart the beauty of the lessons. The milestone of birthdays can mean rites of passage. For a 7-year-old who is now allowed to ride her bicycle around the neighborhood circle without a parent tagging along. For a girl's 15th birthday in Latin America cultures, there is a very important tradition with a celebration called quinceañera. It looks very much like a wedding with a special dress, a ritual, great food, and dancing. For a 16-year-old with a new driver's permit. For a 26 who can no longer be carried on her parents' medical insurance. For a 65 who must sign up for Medicare. How about ordering from the child's menu? Age matters. Or paying senior price for a movie. all of these things are marking the milestone of birthdays and numbers. We are very aware of age in our culture, and isn't it a perfect example of a bell curve when we hear the very young and the very old proud of their numbers? I'm 4.5. I'll be 96 on Tuesday. Many people in between are reluctant to reveal their true numbers. Reluctant because we're judged by that number. If we look too young to be that number, or we don't act our age, we are marked, or people assume we can or cannot do certain things. And that marking takes a seat in our souls, good or bad. Other people's judgment is a harsh reality that can create how we see ourselves. And so many people keep their numbers a secret. I'm proud of the rites of passage I have survived, and I hope you are too. Here's what I know and why I celebrate my ever-increasing number each year as I try to accumulate wisdom and I try to see the value of each and every person in my life. May something of my story resonate with you. A high number means I have outlived several dear friends. I try to carry on the best of who they were. A high number means I understand emotional trauma. May that learning lead to more compassion and not to a hardened heart. A high number means I have fostered 2 friends so close that I can call them at any hour of the night, spill my guts, and have them not hang up until well past my crying stops. May I be, and may you be, that friend for someone else. A high number means I've buried a family member whom I loved dearly. May that turn into deep listening and grace when I lead a memorial service. A high number means I know how not to fear death. May that freedom allow me to live more joyously and grab every brass ring. A high number means I understand the balance of rest and play, of sorrow and joy. May that carry into my understanding of how nature tries to balance herself by responding to our human assaults on the planet. A high number means my appreciation for life and death, for God's natural world and all those in it, has matured. In his book, Falling Upward, Father Richard Rohr calls it the second half of life. Our Western culture has taught us to see the second half as deterioration, but Rohr's theory is that only those of us who have doubted, fallen, lost, and survived can actually rise up spiritually to wholeness, and that is the second half. May the second half of our lives be more spiritually rich with understanding, experience, and wisdom. I see that happening in so many lives around me. After we make our mark in a chosen career, we move into a realm of service, of breathing more deeply, and of spiritual awareness. Today is the day, August 21st, 2022, and it's my birthday. I'm breathing more deeply, trying to be of service each day, and thanking God for every lesson that is offered. As your numbers increase, may it be so for you. If your thought of your numbers creeping up scares you or saddens you, if you want to guard against that happening, I have a few ideas to try. On your birthday, when it rolls around, donate material objects to a charity in your town, or send a check to someone who visits a chronically ill family member and put a note on the check, "This is for hospital parking." or write your own obituary. What do you want it to say? And then live that life. Spend some time with younger people. This is wisdom from an old Jewish woman named Joan. And she's right. No matter your age, choose to be around people who are younger than you. It is life affirming. Laugh more, no matter what. It's a Buddhist thing. Flap your wings, metaphorically and the ones now hanging from what used to be your triceps. Butterfly theory is that everything is so connected. When a butterfly flaps its wings in your backyard, the weather can change in Japan. Stretch out your wingspan and fly. Happy birthday. Our prayer today is a reading from Jan Phillips, a theologian who wrote the circling class curriculum that I'm teaching beginning on Tuesday, September 13th. Please sign on for a life-changing course that is so hard to describe. You'll hear shades of spirituality, shades of therapy, but mostly it's a consciousness expanding experience that helps you know more about the person you're becoming. Check the website. Jan's poem is called The Beatitudes for the 21st Century. Blessed be the earth and those who tend her, for she is the source and sustenance of our lives. Blessed be the children who hunger for food, learning, and homes that are safe, for their future is shaped by our choices today. Blessed be the refugees fleeing the violence of war and poverty. May they find shelter, peace, and work that sustains them. Blessed be those who are calling for freedom, risking their lives and resisting oppression, for they are the shapers of a brighter world. Blessed be the persecuted and wrongly judged, for their sorrow is lessened only by mercy and kindness. Blessed be the prophets who speak and write of a world beyond war, for theirs are the words becoming flesh. Blessed be the storytellers, music makers, and artists at life, for they are the true light of the world. Blessed be the tender-hearted who mourn and grieve the wars we've fought, the lives we have lost. May peace ride in on the river of their tears. Amen. Our music today is a birthday, I guess it's a choice. So it's a selection that you can make. We have birthday variations performed by an orchestra, renditions of Happy Birthday, and we also have a dance with the Beatles. Your choice. Happy birthday.